What's up, guys? Well, I want to start real quick. I want to give a shout out to Eric from Eric's RC. Thanks for everything you sent me, and it's been an honor to build this for you. All the extra parts are in the bottom of the box. We're going to get this shipped in the next day or two, as soon as I can. Like I say, all the stuff you bought down here in there with all the spare stuff, so when you start building, because I know your 24 addiction is going to grow really bad. You already got a 1/18. That's awesome. This is not going to perform like that, just so you know. This ain't one of them Evo 18 comp crawler. It's going to be more fun to drive, probably. So anyway, we'll get that out to you. Thanks again for everything. And now, guys, we're going to slap on the video that I already made last night, because it includes putting the 2-speed shift servo in the CJ7, amongst a bunch of other work that's awesome. But I know there's a couple people that's been wanting to see about putting that servo in, what you got to do, because you do have to take the transmission out and pull out a big rubber O-ring inside of it in order to hook it up. So here you go. So now, to keep this moving on without wasting too much time, like I said, it's a good thing you didn't watch me go through all the work doing these tires and wheel extensions and all the shock tuning, because here's the finished product. Looks great. You didn't have to suffer through all of it. Me rambling. I think that is the look it needs too. Now, some of the white letters need touched up, because I done run it once. Lost that footage too, but we're going to get a better run. Because the reason I say you're lucky you didn't suffer through all that, because we got, oh yeah, look at these bad boys. We got better stuff for you to suffer through. First off, thanks again, Eric. Eric sent me one more thing as a thank you for me building his four-wheeler, he said. Even though he don't have to send me nothing else, he sent me more than enough. But he got me a nice cordless screwdriver. Yeah, that works great. I just put them little rims back together with the screws so I wouldn't lose them. And man, that works great, because my wife, I think, would kill me if I use this one more time to change my rims like I did last night. So I think this is more feasible. So thanks again, buddy. I always struggle on picking one out, so when somebody sends me something like that, it makes it so much easier on my brain. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Get to the good stuff, he says. Moving on. This showed up yesterday. The winch I already had. Now, again, I bought this winch brand new just for the controller, because the one in my high trail burned up. Oh, excuse me. So this time I looked and seen that I could buy just a controller for 15 bucks. That goes to it. So I got the controller, and now we got this winch to install in the Jeep. Now then, let's get to the good stuff. Get to the good stuff. Boom, that showed up early. Christmas came early. Now, I ordered this. It said it was going to be here the 31st. And next thing you know, it's out there and the mailman's dropping it off. I'm like, yeah. I actually thought it was the package that Eric was sending until I got it out of the mailbox. I was like, alrighty then. Moving on. So I'm going to get my book out. We're going to just start. Well, I'm just going to take screws out. I don't need a book. Who needs a book? That's for people that can read good. I'm just going to start taking screws out and figure out how to get this out real fast. Watch this. So, alright, now that looked like it was going to be a lot harder than it was. Literally easy. It had 2 screws to hold the fake engine up here, and then the other 2 screws that just had a little cover, and then the motor pulls right out. I mean, I thought Traxxas was easy enough, but this might even have outdone them, and it sure looked like it was going to be a nightmare. But simple enough. Yeah, we're getting in deep. I went ahead and took the whole transmission out, because I'm putting in the shift servo. Whether or not I can use this controller to make it work, I'm still going to hook up the servo. If I have to put something like a rubber band around it to hold it tight shut, I will for now. But I'm going to try to at least use the second gear instead of dig for now, if I can get away with it. I started to just take it all apart. Since I got this handy little tool now, it makes my life so much easier. And I figured I'd go ahead and, in case you guys never did this before, might as well show you now. I'll tell you, it was 4 screws to take the motor right off the top, no problem. There was only 4 more screws. There's this one and one on the other side, and then the 2 that's on the very bottom of the skid plate. This whole thing comes right out. It's very simple. And I watched a video. In order to do this, we have to take all 4 screws out over here, which I did. There's 2 that face this way, 2 that face that way. And I'm going to take this apart with both hands, so in case a gear falls out, I can see how they were. There's a rubber washer in here we have to take out. 2 of them, I think, in order to get 2-speed transmission. Let me just make a little room so y'all can be here when we mess up. In case you want to see this real fast, we'll do it together. Now then, pull it apart very gently is the plan. I don't want nothing to fall apart. Okay. Everything stayed in right there. We'll keep that like that. Over here on this side, somewhere there's a rubber washer. I don't want nothing to fall out. But we do got to pull this out apparently. He said we have to also loosen this from the other side, I think, in order to take the second washer off. I don't remember. I don't remember what he did actually, but let me unthread this and see. I'm not going to bore you with it, but I'll figure this out real quick and then we'll get back to it. So, okay guys, now all you have to do, unthread that little deal. You got to hold the back of this with some pliers or something. This one, sorry. If you get this part on there, you got to hold that with pliers when it's in there. Unthread that deal, and here's the washer that comes off. And now you just put it all back together the exact same way it came apart, which should be pretty simple. As everything goes back the way it was, kind of falls into place hopefully. So, let me get this back to where I feel comfortable. Alright, it's pretty simple. I mean, now there's the gear that goes on that still, I guess, that goes up in the top here. But as far as this goes, it used to be locked back like so, which is hard to show. But right there, that right there was first gear. Now when we shift forward, that goes back, and see now that one's not moving because it's the one inside turning for second gear. First and second. Now we just got to put it back together. Let's see, this shouldn't be no issues. This should just go right there. Like so and so, and then so, and then we go. Yo. Although you might have to have it in the right way. Can't be too hard to figure out, huh? So, alright, it wasn't no big deal to get together. You just have to line everything up just right. Goes together pretty dang easy, actually. I enjoy taking something apart for the first time just to learn it, because I've worked on so many TRX4s at this point. And Red Cat Gen 8s I worked on plenty of, and all that. SCX10, the originals. But I've never had a 10.3 yet, of any of them, any type. This is a dang good little drill too, I'm going to tell you now. And again, there's only 4 screws to hold this bad boy together. And if it ain't lined up right, it won't snap back together all the way. So that's how you, if it goes together, it's right. That's the way I look at it anyhow. At first I was like, well, why is the back dry shaft not working? It was like neutral. That's because it got dig or whatever. It was in between. See, I already have another servo and everything to hook right in there perfect. That came off of one of these apparently, because it has the right little rod on it and the whole 9. So anyway, there we go. We got us a transmission that should shift. I gotta put that thing back on. That was stupid of me to not do it while it was apart. You idiot. I didn't think about that. I'm gonna have to take it back apart, I think, just to hold that when I screw this on. Good news, I didn't have to take it apart. There's enough room. There's a flat spot on the shaft right there, so as long as you got a little pair of these to hold it. And then I took this tiny little Allen wrench in there to actually turn this because it was hard to turn. Just held it and turned it with that and tightened it right up. Now we got 2-speed transmission, baby. Again, now I did all that just to have it done since I was already into it. Whether I run it or not, I have the option now. All you got to do if you decide you don't want to use it is put something right here to hold it from kicking back. Right there, the same as first gear still. I'll throw something in there with hot glue or something if I wanted to, and it would keep it from shifting. But now I got that option though. If I ever want it, it's there. And I'm going to hook a servo up, so we're going through all this work. We're going to do it. So, alright, that wasn't too bad. Now, I had to get a little bit of work ahead of me, you know, to take it all apart, get that servo in. As you can tell, we do have the second gear servo in there. And again, like I said, whoever sent this to me a while back, this came out of one of these rigs because it had the horn, it had the little link, it had everything to do this. It was definitely what it came off of. And look how short this little baby is. It's barely going to reach to a receiver, but it will, I think. We'll find out in a few minutes. Now, another problem while we're talking about that. I got the motor in, obviously. I don't even know if I want to put the scale motor up there yet, man. I don't want to hide my fusion. So, anyway. I got a receiver for a Spectrum, but it's a 2-channel. I have 2 of these, but neither one of them has a 3rd channel, just a battery. The only 3rd channel that I'd be able to use, 3-channel, I don't have any 4, but I do got a Tactic. I'm gonna see if I can use this Tactic for my transmission or not. If not, maybe I can just put the dig back on and have dig still. I'm only going to be able to have one or the other until I get me a new controller. I got to get at least a 4-channel for this rig. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out later. That's a pain in the butt. I just think Axial should give you a 4-channel remote with this system. So when you do change later, you can at least work all the options with the remote they give you. So, anyway. All I gotta do is put a receiver and a battery and see what happens. Well, alright guys. This is the next day. We got basically everything buttoned up today. You see, I got the winch on the front. The way we did to hide the wiring, we had to come around, took the wire, went around the frame, and then wrapped it really tight, straight up basically, and ran it between the fan belt and the thing. Sure, it's going to rub, but there's also not a coolant hose over here on the thermostat, so it'll be okay if it rubs on the fan belt too. So, but you got to watch that your steering servo horn doesn't hit it down here, if you can see this. So I got plenty of room on mine. That's just, you know, you got to watch because you got to tuck it so tight because the body mounts are coming down right here as well into these, sorry guys, into these 2 holes. So we just done that. We looped it straight over here, runs to here. My winch controller box is mounted right back here with some hot glue under it for now, and just jump together. I'm running it off one of these little batteries right here for now. If that gives me any issues, this is what I normally run, but if I run this, I got to plug this big boy in. I don't want to do all that right now. It just takes up more space. Not a big deal. So now the shift servo is all completed, hooked up. Should work fine. This the other thing, in order to run the lights, because the body comes with 2 cords for front and back, and on this ESC it had these. So what I did, I didn't have a splitter, so I had to make one. Just jump 2 ends together. We plugged it into the battery output of that, and now I can plug in both of the lights. The 3rd channel plugs in right here on the bottom of this side here. So let's go ahead and just turn it. Here's the tactic controller I'm using. It's just got the 3rd channel right here. And one more thing, don't forget to calibrate and do all that stuff with this. I've already done it. You leave your pinion gear off, let the thing, you hold this down for a real long time, because there's two periods of time you hold it down. Okay, hold it down until it starts flashing red, but you keep holding it, then it will flash green eventually. That's what you got to do the first time, and it will run on its own. And then when you go to calibrate your controller, you hold it down and just until it starts flashing red. And then you do the whole trigger sequence that you do there. All right, let me go ahead and put the body on here. Okay, let's just go ahead and let's try to do the old trim deal just for fun. Which way should I roll without? Okay, not that way. There's a lot of slop in the transmission, I notice. I think I'm still in 1st gear too. Let's find out. See how slow she'll go. Get a little bit more. I don't know if that right there will keep going on the FOC technology, but that's pretty dang slow. Let's just throw a little something in front of it. It ain't gonna do nothing there, is it? Oops. Let's see if FOC will actually do its thing right here. Oh yeah, I did lower the pinion gear. I forgot to mention. It comes with a 14 tooth stock. I wanted to go to a 12. It will go to an 11 as your smallest on here. I think maybe 18 is your largest. I don't remember for sure on the largest. But I have an 11 on here right now. That was the only option I had to work with. And look at it go. And it still has good wheel speed even in 1st gear. So alright, Hobbywing Fusion SE right there, moving nice and slow. I'm happy with it. So now let's hook that winch to something and see what we can pull with that booger. I gotta mount the controller still, but at least now I can grab that. Oh, I still gotta change this line, but I don't have any blue. All I got's the red over there I'm gonna use, I guess. I don't like the wire. This wire is just horrible. I don't know where I can hold this or something. Let's find out in a minute. If I can hold this in my fingers without ripping a finger off. Because these things are, they bind to that damn desk. You'll know it, won't you? Let's see what happens here. So, works for me. She's not the biggest, baddest one. It's running off a tiny little battery. And that's with all brakes locked on a desk that gets good traction. This thing, that's good traction on here, really. So anyway, we got a winch when we're in a pickle. And what else can we do? Guess we could take her out. Let's see. Watch this. A shift transmission. There's 2nd gear right there. No problem. Now watch. Let's see how slow we can go in 2nd gear. Let's see. I know now I'm really dragging this out, but not much worse than first. I don't think there's as big of a range as Traxxas has on their gears. I don't know. It's definitely not as slow, but that ain't bad. Will it climb? In second gear. Let's see if we can't get this to hook on there and go. I'll show you the wheel speed here in a minute. There she goes, right up it like it wasn't nothing. Second gear on a straight axle rig with an $80 setup. You gotta be kidding me. Best investment you can buy, just about. I would have loved to have got the 1200 kV. I don't know why I didn't. I got 3 of these ones and I got the Pro. So alright guys, we're going to wrap this video up here. It's plenty long enough. And we're going to get this bad boy outside. I got to do some more cleaning on the course and we're going to take it for a run. I want to see what all these upgrades actually are going to do for this thing, because it's going to be night and day, I'm sure. You know, I putted around with it the other day after putting the wheel extensions and the new tires back on it. And it was a big difference. But this motor, second gear, just for fun, I mean, all that, it's going to change a lot. And look at her. She's just creeping along with an $80 system. You can't beat that. I'm telling you. Well, you can, because you could spend $10 less and get the 1200 kV. And you can beat that. So it's amazing what Hobbywing has brung to us. Now, if they would just do it for the 24 scales, give us one of these Fusion Mini Pros. You listening, Hobbywing? That's what we need. We need a Fusion Mini Pro for the SCX24, and then maybe one a little bigger for the 118s. And I still got plenty of time to sit here and talk before that gets anywhere and hits anything, don't I? Jeez. That's nice. For a straight axle rig. So anyway, that's enough rambling. I want to get this bad boy outside, have some fun with it. So please stay tuned for the next video. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I hope this helped you with your 2-speed setup. I was lost until I did it. So, all right, guys. Peace.